this curiosity about finding meaningfulness in that data that leads to.
So today's topic is about AI, data and analytics. So what is the relationship or association between these three things? But having said that, it's also a fact that not many projects succeed. So what, in your view, are the reasons as to why projects are not succeeding the way it should?
Third thing is, we always think that AI is plug and play. It is not. It is play and watch. And they have found around 18% people who order on Amazon, they are defaulters. Defaulter in the sense, every time they order, they return it.
So there is some kind of discussion on a triple threat analyst. Kind of elaborate more on that. Business analysts are supposed to kind of fill that gap and build that connection between the objective, outcome and the solution. So can you kind of elaborate more on this topic, saying how can business analysts help in bridging that gap between these three? What is the importance of data quality or validating the data sources? So just a follow-up question on this. How about privacy and the security in terms of, let's say you are implementing it in European Union, GDPR standards, so something like that. So where does it kind of come into picture? And who takes care of it?
See, story playing is a art, and I would say that business likes that.
Is there any risk that we are slowly moving towards over-reliance on AI? Is it going to have some kind of downsides to it? Good morning, good evening. Welcome to a brand new episode of Future Forward, a podcast series by Techcanvass on AI, business analysis, and data analytics. Every week, we invite an expert to talk about a subject at length. Today's topic is about changing paradigm of AI, data, and analytics. What's going to be the impact on career and the requirement for reskilling? We have a special guest today to talk about that, Narrsinh Kaakandikar. He has over 2 decades of experience in the enterprise software space, developing SaaS applications in the data space. Currently, he's serving as Director of Engineering at 24/7 Software Inc. Welcome, Narrsinh. Welcome to another episode of Future Forward. So, let's start by telling our viewers about yourself, your professional career.
Okay. So, as you said, my name is Narrsinh Kaakandikar. I am working as a Director of Engineering at 24/7 Software since last 4 years. I worked in the past with Acquia, Pfizer. These are enterprise SaaS companies. I bring data engineering experience for last 1 decade. So my expertise is data engineering, mainly about ETL as well as data analytics. I'm very passionate about data in terms of how data is being gathered from different sources. It's not about only SQL, NoSQL, but there are different datas that exist in the world. So since I started my career, I always inclines towards find something out of the data. So for data, me is like a fuel. I always want to enjoy that.
So we are going to talk a lot about data, but let me take you back and look back at your career and life. So who has been your inspiration? Is there any one person or more than one who has everlasting kind of impression on your career and life?
I would say there are a couple of people who had a lasting impact on me as a person, as a professional. My father first had a lasting impact on me because of the kind of diligence that he showed me. He always wanted me to remain honest with my profession, honest as a person. So I'll always admire me for these things that he taught me. Secondly, there are many leaders I worked with in last 20 years. They taught me how to remain grounded. Leadership is just a label. The humanness in that is really much required. You deal with a lot of people, you deal with technology, you deal with data, you deal with so many things when you work. So it is really important to remain humble, understand how things are moving forward. There will be some challenges, there will be some issues that occurs in every day. But if you understand those things from a different perspective, that help you to remain grounded. So I learned this from my leaders, and I am really thankful for that.
Well said. I think that's pretty important for anybody's life and career. I understand that. So now, looking at your career, what kind of got into data space, especially since you are pretty passionate about data. So what got into data, and what made you passionate about data?
The most important thing, I'm very curious person. I have very good observation skills. So since I started my profession, I was very curious about how things works. Technology space is not about only UI or not about middleware. It is all about data. So this curiosity about finding meaningfulness in that data, that leads to have this kind of interest in data and data engineering. So instead of using word data, I will use data engineering, because data and engineering, both things matches very well. So yes, curiosity is one of the thing, and of course my observation skills. I'm very strong observer of things. So there are two things that really help me and create that interest in data and data engineering.
Okay, nice to know. So now coming back, since we have started with the discussion on data, so today's topic is about AI, data, and analytics. So what is the relationship or association between these three things?
I always believe that data is like a raw material. Those are ingredients. That is how I see data. Whereas for me, analytics is what we actually make out of it. It's like a recipe. So can we mix data and make a recipe out of it? Whereas AI for me is a automatic chef who can bring data and this recipe together and then create a customized recipes, or create recipes that people like based on their existing information that exists. For example, some people like dal, but they like dal which is bland, right? So this is where the data can help AI to prepare a specific flavored dal for this person. So this is how, like, I'm a foodie person, so I relate in the data, AI, and analytics together.
Yeah, that's a good way to explain that. So there's no doubt about that, there are a lot of possibilities in terms of utilizing AI, data, and putting together for drawing many insights. But having said that, it's also a fact that not many projects succeed. So what, in your view, are the reasons as to why projects are not succeeding the way it should be?
The first thing that I always observed is people try to fix the problem without understanding the problem. So it is really important to define the problem, or define what exactly your needs are, what are the customer's pain points are there. For example, many times we get requirements saying that adopt AI. What does that mean? There's no meaning to it, right? But if somebody comes to me and say, I want to reduce my, for e-commerce side, if somebody comes to me, or product comes to me, or business come to me and say, I want to reduce my return by 20%, return orders by 20%, right? That is a meaningful definition for me. So we can work on that kind of problem statement. So define a problem statement is pretty needed. Second thing is, we are trying to build things very fast, and we are building everything together. We are working in Agile for 20 years, and it always suggests that do an incremental building of it. Build for small things. For example, I want to cut down on my insurance fraud detection, right? There's a lot of fraud happens in insurance claims. If I try to do that for all types of insurance policies, it may be a big failure for me, because I will invest a lot of money, I will invest a lot of efforts. Instead, what I should do is, I should only focus on policies which are related to maybe vehicle policies, or maybe a personal insurance, and see how it results into. So incremental solving is another thing that we should do. Third thing is, we always think that AI is plug and play. It is not. It is play and watch. and then see how it results to you. It is not like every time you'll use AI and it will benefit you. Sometimes it is not as well, right? So I think that is another thing, like, revisiting it, retrospecting it, reflect on what you implemented is really important.
Correct. So basically, what you are indicating is that there is kind of a disconnect when we say implement AI. But implementing or adopting AI is not the real deal here,
Yes.
right? There has to be some strategy, some vision, and then you match it with the implementation.
Correct.
Okay, so that is one area where definitely we need to improve. Are there any other areas in addition to this where we can make projects which are using AI and data to be more successful?
So there are various areas where I think data and AI can help you. As I said, fraud detection is one of the things where we are still, facing a lot of challenges there. There's a lot of data available to us. Also in healthcare, I feel like India has a lot of good opportunity because we have huge data where we can implement AI, where we can see patterns about patients where they revisit, right? How we can, because we have limited resources, how we can utilize those resources. That is another thing. We have e-commerce giants, right? And there also a lot of fraud happens in terms of they order something and then they use it and then they return it. So there's I was reading a paper from Amazon, and they have found around 18% people who order on Amazon, they are defaulters. Defaulter in the sense, every time they order, they return it. They never keep it.
Okay.
So they are blocking those users. They are not allowing them to. So this kind of information, which is really, whether it is in healthcare or whether it is in e-commerce sector, that will help us to use resources in a proper way. Although these are private firms, but still we have limited resources. So we should use that sparingly and making sure that those will last long for us as a country.
So there is some kind of discussion on a triple threat analyst. Okay. Can you kind of elaborate more on that?
Yeah. So triple threat analyst for me is the one who is like an all-rounder, who understand data. So data literacy will be there. Then he will also understand how AI works along with the technology. So the combination of knowing business, combination of knowing data, and combination of knowing technology. So in this regard, technology for me is AI, and then whatever the rest of the technical things that we require, whether it is microservices, API, or everything. So the combination of these things, the person who knows these things, he is kind of a triple threat for me. Like, and everybody in industries kind of want to have these skills now, like data literacy, knowing business, and then knowing the technical aspect of it, like how this data can transform into analytics, and we can take certain measures out of it.
Yeah.
So this combination of these three is really required now.
Yeah, it will be difficult to get such kind of a person, but I think that would be one of the ways in which the proper analysis can be done, so that more projects can succeed.
So I feel like we have really good data and technical people. We're still missing the business of opportunity here, like business aspect, because majority of companies in India, they have customers who are from other countries like US. Our market is basically US and Europe and all. So we do not have visibility on how they use our softwares, whatever we build, right? But it is not the case for them. So I think we sometimes misses the business objective, right? Why they need something, because we don't have direct interaction with them. But we have very strong data people. We have very strong technical people who understands AI very well. But if we are able to fill that gap of business understanding, I think that will definitely help.
So that brings me to the next question, which is about problem definition or problem framing. So how important is that in AI projects or AI implementations?
I mean, it is really important in any project, irrespective of whether it is AI project or a normal SaaS project.
Correct.
The reason being is, if you don't define the problem properly, even having a very strong solution for a wrong problem doesn't help. So I would like to give an example for that. So we built a healthcare analytics some time back, and we were told that we need healthcare analytics, and this is what the requirements are there. Basically, we understood the requirements and we prepared analytics dashboard for them. And core objective of that was not being discussed with us. And we prepared it, and then we realized that the board, like the dashboard, was not having, not being used by HR professionals. That is being used by the technical people who are sitting in the hospital, who are managing the technical team. Then we ask, what was the reason we prepared it, right? Why? The question why? They said we wanted to use this to kind of educate doctors on how patient flow is there in each month or each week or each hour, so they can prepare certain things. What kind of people are coming with what kind of disease and all. But they, like these dashboards were never exposed to them how they will actually use it. So the problem statement was correct at some point, but the solution was not correct because the outcome was missing there.
So basically, there was a gap between understanding the problem or understanding the problem and implementing the right solution for that particular problem.
No, the problem was understood, but the business objective was missing. What they wanted to do, because that's why they did not expose that to the concerned people. And solution was also correct because we created dashboard which was actually showing it, but nobody was using it. So that's why I say many times we have a problem statement and then solution for it, but what happens is there's no objective behind it, like no business outcome out of it.
Outcome, yeah, correct.
Yeah, so
That's
that is
the
where
correct
the problem is.
Yeah, correct. So outcome definition, if it is wrong, then obviously maybe the implementation may not go towards that.
Correct. Yes.
So business analysts are supposed to kind of fill that gap and build that connection between the objective, outcome, and the solution. Okay. So can you kind of elaborate more on this topic, saying how can business analysts help in bridging that gap between these three?
So I believe that business analyst role is very strategic now because they are very closer to end customer. They understand the pain points there. Similarly, they have full access of data nowadays, right? So if they can bring these two crucial aspects, data and of course the business objective that these people are saying, right? And what customer pain points. If they club together and they bring that perspective to technology team, they can become a strategic partner for technical teams. Because for technical teams, what they need is they need an understanding of what are the pain points, why we need this, right? The answer for this. And if they're able to elaborate on that to technical teams, along with some data insights, that will definitely help technical teams to bring excellent and solid solution for it. So this is how they can, like having these two primary skills, they can definitely help technical teams.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about the gaps and why projects fail and what could be done about it. Now let's focus more towards the skills side of it. So what do you see are the professionals who are involved in these kind of projects? There should be skills, or let's say what roles which are important in this and what could be the skills for these roles.
So if we take about the AI projects, so I feel like data engineer role is really important. Business analyst who understand business and data, that is very crucial. Anybody who has a really good understanding of generative AI from AI side of the things is really crucial. We should have somebody who is good experience like a technical architect. I will add more things on what architecture means nowadays. The reason being is every company that started their operations or their products a couple of years back, they always thought about having an enterprise application and an enterprise level architecture. But that is not end of the word. Enterprise architecture has multiple architectures inside that. One is an application architecture, one is a data architecture. And data architecture is completely missed by these companies. So we need a good data engineers who can build that data architecture now based on whatever the data that we have currently existing in this system. So to add more, what I believe is the companies that started in last 2-3 years, they are in a better position to adopt AI and make use of it for their businesses. Whereas the companies who started their operations some time back, they never focused on data. They always focus on the technical aspect of it. That's why they have enterprise architecture. So data architect role has also become very evident now in the current context. So data engineer, AI engineer, business analytics or analyst who has this kind of skill sets with data architect, these roles are becoming very prominent in current situation.
So related to this, we often hear about thinking in SQL. What is it, and can you give some example to help us understand?
So it is basically SQL being a mostly widely used database. So the way I think in SQL is how many joins are there, how many filters are there, how many columns are there, how many records are there. It is as simple as finding out how many of my employees earning more than 50 lakh rupees per year. So those are my top tier employees, right? So if I start thinking in this way about my data, or if I want to know, if I'm running an e-commerce business, if I want to know who are my top spender for this month, right? So I can, give them some benefits, maybe some coupons so they can buy more stuff. So this kind of thinking where I always think about data and getting meaningful information out of it is a SQL thinking. And every business analyst or any data engineer should have this thinking. So they will able to explore data in more deeper way.
So since you mentioned about data architecture, data engineers, so what is the importance of data quality or validating the data sources when we are considering data architecture, overall architecture?
It is really, really important because majority of companies, they have data, but that data do not have any meaningful information the way it is being currently structured. Because as I said, they never thought that they will use data for anything in future. So there are they have stored the data in multiple sources. Data needs, if we want to clean that data, it takes longer time. In some cases, transformation is also not possible because there are some data is in NoSQL, some data is in SQL, some data is in document format, some data is in JSON or in Excel. So to combine that data and bring some meaningfulness in that, it becomes a very hectic thing. And it takes longer time for transforming that data. Also, there are native tools, but those are costly to transform that data. So it is really important to have a quality data. So I believe that whether a company has a quality data today or not, but they should start working towards this to transfer the data and make available data so in future they can use that data for AI engineering. Second aspect is whatever the quality of data that we have currently, it is really important to measure what is missing in that data and how we can quickly add that information in it and make it more meaningful for everybody. And it will take some time, but it is, so there is a possibility because there are a lot of transformation tools are available which are very automatic in nature and have AI capabilities, and those are also context driven. So it is possible that we can transform data pretty quickly using certain tools.
So just a follow-up question on this. How about the privacy and the security in terms of, let's say you are implementing it in European Union, GDPR standards, so something like that. So where does it kind of come into picture and who takes care of it?
So engineering team, data engineer should aware of what kind of personal information is stored in the database. So the first aspect whenever we do analytics project or AI project, we see that do we really need this personal information? If we don't need that information, we just keep that in the database and we just move the rest of the database into data lake or data warehouse or whatever the technology we want to use, and on top of that we build the AI model or analytics. So that way the PI information remains where it is. If we need some portion of it, like age or maybe a phone number or something, that sort of information, then there are different techniques we can hash that, or we can encrypt that data, which won't be easily available to the third parties. Secondly, we ensure that only needed people will have even read-only access to that. Because in recent past, what happened is, if let's say I'm an engineer and I'm not happy with my organization, and I have read-only access to the data, I can take a screenshot and I just upload somewhere. So personal information like name, email ID, phone numbers, will be available on internet, and people can misuse that. So it is really evident to keep this checks in place and have access to only required resources, and we should remove resources as and when those are not required for a particular employee. So security first approach needs to be followed by a data engineer or a data architect, and that is where we can solve these privacy and security issues.
Right. Well said. So now coming to another part of projects like these, that is storytelling. Okay, so we talked about dashboards. You mentioned about dashboards, and in the healthcare setup, you are giving an example. So creating a dashboard and trying to build a story or telling the story with the help of data. What role does it play in this particular kind of project?
See, story playing is a art, and I would say that business likes that, because when you have information that is in readable format, and if you are translating that dashboard into a story, you get instantly connect with your business. And what I mean by business is your end customer. They reflect on it very fast. So many times when you tell a story to your customer saying that this is your data and these are certain things that you can get out of it. As I said, we were doing this order stuff, right? When we have a lot of return orders for one of the Middle East customer, where they were like e-commerce giant there, operating in 7 markets. And their primary objective was to see why they have too many return orders. What was the challenge there? So what we have seen through the dashboards is we have explained them. The orders are being returned because the product images were not correctly being added. And they thought something else, and whatever they got was something else. So there was a difference between what they ordered or they thought during the order and what they received. And that's why they were returning it. So they fixed that gap. But if you just tell them this is what the problem is, they may or may not understand it. But through story, if you tell them, that really makes a big impact.
Right. So now we have talked about data, we have talked about various aspects of data. And now let's get back to AI. Okay. So what is the role generative AI? Let's first talk about generative AI. What generative AI as a platform or as a tool, what role this can play in these kind of projects?
See, most of the time, the way industry currently using generative AI is for summarization, automating your chat functionalities, doing certain automation in your product. Like if there are workflows which are very much fixed, and there is a very trivial changes that happens. So they use generative AI to automate those things, to those manual tasks. Also, it is important to summarize your customer certain things. If, let's say, for example, I'm reading a book and I don't want to read entire book, right? I don't have that much of time, so summarization is best thing. So similarly, in industry, there are things where people wants to quickly understand the insights of it. They don't have time, 2 days, 3 days to go through entire report and see what that report means. But they want a bulleted points where they understand, okay, this report means this for me as a business. So these kind of things being like generative AI is helping really there, but that needs to be context driven, because then there are other aspect biasing and hallucination, Those kind of things are there. The other aspect that generative AI is being widely used currently is, of course, in text to video or vice versa, or generating presentations and all. That is widely used now because no leader wants to spend time on creating presentations the way it used to be in the past, right? Also, I've seen the way we are currently using generative AI is improving the productivity of development teams. So we use extensively generative AI for code refactoring, code reviewing, even in many cases documenting the code, unit test case writing, automation of UI test. So, and then of course finding vulnerabilities. So AI is phenomenally successful in this area. When I say that if IT people are using it. So these are a couple of areas where it is really helping everybody.
So basically, generative AI is something which is going to produce outputs based
Yes.
on inputs you give.
Input, yes.
But if you compare it with the traditional AI, which is more like predictive analytics and so on, what do you see is the primary difference? And why should we kind of, as professionals, care about that difference?
So predictive analysis is more towards what is going to happen with your existing data, right? It predicts for you. You have certain data. As I said, for example, if I want to know how many orders we're going to return this month, I already know that information because I have a data from last month or last 6 months. So I will have a tentative idea that my 20% order always return. So that is what predictive analysis does for me. In real-time applications like us internally, what we use is we know that these are the couple of areas where we will always get a bug. That is what the predictive analysis is currently helping with. Whereas generative analytics is helping us to fill gap in terms of, as I said, it is more towards how we can do things effectively by using the intelligence that generative AI is having currently. So best example that I currently use generative AI is for taking meeting notes and generating inputs out of it and creating action items. So I save a lot of time when generative AI helps me to make a minutes of meeting and then creating action items, and also send me follow-up emails saying that these action items are pending on you. So I can plan my day, my week, my month properly, and the progress that I need on delivery side of the things happens regularly.
These are some good uses of AI, both Gen AI and predictive AI. But is there any risk that we are slowly moving towards over-reliance on AI? Is it going to have some kind of downsides to it?
Yeah, this is pretty good question. Of course, because the reason being is when we use generative AI without understanding the impact of it. So what I mean is we have a set of developers like junior developers, senior developers, and expert developers. Generative AI will generate a code for you. If you ask generative AI to write a code or a class for you, they will write it. But you have to use your natural instinct to see which code that was written by generative AI is useful for your future, and whether it is a context driven. If you keep adding the code that is written by Gen AI, at some point of time it becomes a problem for you in terms of debugging, and it becomes a monster. Right? Nobody will be able to debug it because nobody understood what is being added there.
Correct.
Secondly, as I said, if it is not context driven, then that is another set of problem that needs to be solved. Third aspect is it is biased sometimes. Third time it creates a hallucination. So we need to be really careful on how we are using it. It is not like every time we use generative AI and it is helpful to you. We have to use our natural instinct and see what answer it is giving, and is it really helpful? Is it really solving the problem? Then and then only we should adopt. Otherwise, we should just discard it to avoid that risk in future.
Yeah, right. So now let's move to the next section of this podcast where we are going to talk about career. So you have already talked about data engineers, business analysts, and so on. there are a lot of roles which people keep hearing about it. AI data analyst, AI business analyst. Any role which you see other than what you have already explained, which come to your mind, which are going to be popular or in demand in the coming years?
So apart from this, I have seen one role which is like seeing a traction in the industry, and that role is like a AI product owner or product manager, because we need somebody, as I said, we need somebody who has a blend of both business acumen and also data and AI flavor. So I'm seeing that a lot of AI product manager or product owner positions are opening up, and a lot of companies are hiring this because they don't want to build a product; they want to build a product with AI capabilities. And it is not limited to only predictive model, but it is more than that. It may have a dashboard of itself, or maybe having a chat functionality that can help customer to make decisions on buying, or booking certain things. So I think AI product manager role is what I see will grow in next couple of years, and there will be a lot of opportunities that will open up than the plain product manager role that exists currently.
Right. So let's say there is an analyst. It could be anyone, business analyst, data analyst, or anybody who's into an analysis role. I think they are better suited to get into
Yes.
AI product management.
Yes.
So where do they start? And what could be, let's say, step 1, 2, 3, so that they can transition into this kind of a role in the future?
So anybody who wants to start, I feel like they should have a really good understanding of SQL or any database. Preferred is SQL. Then they will be able to generate information through this data. Second thing is they should have a really good understanding of the business that they are working on, the domain they are working on. And third thing is they should be closer to the technology space. What I mean is, what are trends and things that are changing, because landscape is changing very frequently. Every other day we hear new tool.
Yeah.
So they should need to be very closer to the technology space, where they understand what tool is for what uses and how it's solving the problem. Because the tool that came 6 months back is not valid now. People are discarding that very fast. So what I believe is, if you remain close to the technology aspect, having these two skills, but yes, of course, the first thing that they should know is SQL, understanding the data. It is really important. And then I believe that if they are want to grow in this analytics role, they must be having the business understanding already. But going closer to the pinpoints will definitely help them to grow.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people who are trying to learn AI and data skills. Would you kind of tell them what mistakes they're making, what they should not do?
Okay. So basically, people are more going towards solving the problem fast. And to solve the problem, they try to find out the technologies that are available in the market. Without understanding the base problem, technology is of no meaning.
Yeah.
Because there are multiple technologies available in the market who can solve the same problem. But define your problem first, understand what exactly you're trying to do, and then map that requirement to the tools available or technologies available in the market. That way they will be more successful. The other aspect that I believe is people are more keen in solving the problem entirely in one go. So increment approach will help them. Why? Because if they fail in first step, they're only doing first step. So they are failing on a limited resources, not entirely. The entire project is not done, right?
Correct.
So they can learn from that mistakes, and then they can revisit it and replan it. So don't go for technology directly. Understand the problem, define it properly, and then see which technology landscape can help you to solve the problem.
Yeah. So basically, technology is just an enabler.
Enabler, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Good point. So now that brings us to a fun section of this episode, and where I'll be asking you one question, and you can answer it the way you want to. But these are going to be little creative questions.
Okay.
So the first question is, if AI is your intern, okay, and that intern is joining from Monday, what would be the first thing you will delegate your intern to?
So what I will do is I will give a list of trivial tasks or recurring tasks that I do and ask my AI intern to just automate those. For example, I have to send weekly reports. I have to generate monthly reports. I have to do a lot of follow-ups on certain things. So I will just ask AI assistant to just automate these things, so I can spend this important time that I'm spending on trivial issues or trivial things in something more productive for my company, for myself.
Yeah, correct. And the next one is one particular skill which has helped you in your career so far. One top skill.
I'm really good explorer. You have to explore things. It is not important all the time to go do deep dive, but at least you should have a good understanding of the things. So exploring new things, understanding how those are being used, that really helped me. And basically what happens is, after 15 years of experience, somewhere I have seen that professional stopped learning new things or exploring new things. So I always encourage my team members, whatever their experience level is. I think in technology landscape, if you stop learning, exploring new things, you become outdated in a couple of months. So exploring new things, understanding technology landscape is really important, and that really helped me over the period.
That's actually very important, because I also believe that learning is going to be lifelong now.
Yes.
You can't shrug it off.
Yes.
Okay. So coming to the next question, what is one myth about AI?
AI solve everything is a myth. It doesn't solve everything. Why I'm saying is, people feel like I can plug AI and that's it. It is not that straightforward. What we have to do is we have to plug AI and then observe it for months to see the expected outcome is coming out of it or not. So people who are saying that AI will take everything from the market, I feel that is a myth. It will take longer time. So I can give a good example. When SAP came in the market, right, couple of years back, or for that sake, other technologies came, automation came, or even recently we have seen people were very much talking about blockchain, right? When SAP came in the market, we thought that all the custom engineering development SaaS companies will go down. They will vanish because SAP has everything, whether it is HR related thing or e-commerce or whatever you need, they have it. But is anything changed? Landscape never changed. We still have many companies who are in HR space, and having like Zoe is the best example, right? It became one of the biggest company. Even Wordplay is there, or other companies are there. They are sustaining. So AI will not take anything. It is just that it will evolve over the time, and it will help to improve the productivity, improve the way the current experience of product is. So it is for better. So I will take it as a positive. I will not take it as a negative.
Correct. So many professionals believe that AI is going to kind of make them obsolete or take away their jobs. Any message for them?
AI will not actually take them out, but the people who will adopt and learn and upskill themselves with AI, those professionals will definitely replace the people who don't know AI for sure. So it is as simple as, and this is a good example I came across recently. We used to have, horses sometime back, like a couple of years back, and the people who were riding those horses, they shifted as a car drivers, or maybe from auto to car, right? So this shift needed. That doesn't mean that things are going out. So that's why I said product owner or product manager's job will be there, but that person needs to adopt to AI and understand AI and build product with AI capabilities. So that is where the success will be. So AI will not take anybody's job, but people who know AI may replace you. So it is like tie your seatbelts and learn AI. That is really important.
Correct. That's a pretty clear message.
Yeah.
So finally, if people want to contact you or you want to reach out to you to get any question answered or guidance, where can they reach you?
So they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm not very social media friendly person. I prefer to connect on LinkedIn. It is a professional network. So they can connect with me on LinkedIn. They can just search for Narrsinh Kaakandikar and they can connect with me there, and always support there. Like if anybody DMs me, I always respond. If they have question, queries, concern, anything, I always respond there. I'm not very social media fan, so I'm not on any other social media platform. I write certain things on Medium, so there also they can see my work on medium.com. So that is where I currently exist on social media.
Sure. So thank you so much. Thanks for giving time to us, and it was really insightful.
Thank you.
So thanks for watching this episode. This was such an insightful discussion on the changing paradigm of AI, data, and analytics. We discussed a lot of topics, right from how to make projects successful, what are the key points of failures, what are the career options, and what professionals should do to reskill themselves, or rather unlearn and learn according to the demand of the AI dominated world. Thank you so much for watching this again. See you in the next episode.